I just didn't trust him fully. We just didn't have the same vibe.
What's been the most surprising thing that you've learned since you've been out?
I love having access to my car and sunlight and music. Music makes my world go round. And so I think that I've really learned to appreciate the little things in life.
How many text messages did you have when you checked your phone?
I think I had, I'm really bad at opening and cleaning out my inbox. So I think I had like 200, but that's, I think you also learn, how to be considerate of others when you're living with 11 other people. So hopefully I'll be cleaning my text mailbox out soon.
Cool. Well, let's talk about the vote because it was 7-0. I guess, tell me whose vote surprised you the most, and did you know it was going to be unanimous?
I had a feeling it was because, at the beginning of the game, I was really strong with my alliances, but you can tell when you're in the house when your game has been blown up. And I just got that vibe from people, and I knew that I needed to lay low, and it worked for me week 1. And I survived next to a bigger threat next to Teddi, but, next to Chris Kattan, I knew that my chances were slim.
Did anyone in the house give you false hope that you were staying?
I think that if I had been the HOH and was working with the person who won the veto, I would have taken that opportunity to backdoor a stronger player. But for me, it wasn't in my cards. And I went home holding my head up high. And, I made mistakes in the game, but overall, I'm proud of how I played.
Yeah, there was apparently possibly another plan to put up Todrick, but obviously that didn't go through. Do you think Chris Kirkpatrick threw that veto? Because he was pretty terrible.
That wasn't something that I got to talk with Chris Kirkpatrick, but he did not get any of the marry me signs, but that just might not have been his game. And I wish I could have stayed longer because I wanted to meet Zingbot, and I think I would have been really valuable in Bull Arena.
For sure. In terms of Chris Kattan's speech, I know he kind of asked to go home. Were you surprised by that? And what were you thinking in the moment?
Chris Kattan and I really bonded, and he made me laugh in the Big Brother house all the time. I think he was really looking out for me, and he knew how important the game was. But, at the end of the day, it was my time to leave, and I had exhausted my alliances. But I really, truly appreciated that he wanted me to stay.
Yeah, everyone seems to struggle a little bit, but you and Chris definitely, we could see sometimes you were going through it. Did you feel like you had fun in there, or was it much harder than you thought?
When you're cut off from the outside world, things really get put into perspective. And I think that most importantly, I'm proud to be the first Asian American woman on Celebrity Big Brother, and I tried my best. I just didn't get the best hand, and I didn't play my cards to my best advantage. And you live and you learn, and I think that I learned a lot and would play the game a little bit differently were I to go back in.
You did have a lot of support on social media. Have you been able to see that yet?
I have been loving the Twitterverse, the way that the Big Brother fans pick up on so much is really fascinating, and watching the live feeds is super fun for me as well. I can see why people get hooked on both the show that makes it onto CBS and streams, and then the live feeds. And I think that at the end of the day, I'm a Big Brother super fan, and now the laughs that the Twitterverse bring me are also something I'm super here for.
Now that you're watching as a fan, who are you rooting for from the outside?
I love Carson in the house. He was so smart. He was so considerate. He made bomb food for everybody. You know, he was a killer threat, and I hope he makes it till the end.
Yeah. I mean, so there is a lot of stuff that we didn't get to see because the feeds were obviously not on yet. Can you tell me anything about what the disconnect was with you and Kirkpatrick? Like why he targeted you? Why were you put on the block?
You know, our relationship, although we were both in Misha's alliance, and that was something I counted on too much, I just didn't trust him fully. You know, we just didn't have the same vibe, and I respected his play. But I personally think that, you know, it would have been a great backdoor moment. And I think that if that had been the play, I would have kind of stayed in the middle of the pack and laid low and made it a little bit further, which I would have wanted, but it just wasn't my day.
Yeah, I was going to ask, if you did stay, were you planning on working with Todrick and Misha still and doing that? Because I know now you're a fan of Carson, but they're on different sides.
You know, I had to turn on the formation, but it did not stop me from liking Carson, interacting with Carson. And though I would have I would have supported the play. I supported the play and agreed to take Carson out because he was such a strong player. I really liked him as a person. And the thing about Big Brother is that you can like someone and not work with him. And if he makes it till the end, at this point in the game, he has my vote. But you know, Big Brother, you have to expect the unexpected. And so we'll see how things play out in the Big Brother house.
Yeah, speaking of the vote, I keep forgetting that you guys are home and you're voting. Are you going to be voting for, you know, the person that you got along with? Like what goes into your vote? What factors?
I think the best person should win. And I think between Misha and Carson, they're building a strong competitive relationship. And I think that Misha has strength and wit on her side. And Carson's puzzle solving skills were so unreal. I would like to see them both at the end, but I know that, you know, if final two go the way that they plan out, Todrick and Misha would have a stronger chance of getting there. But you never know in the Big Brother house. I know there were mentions of Todrick getting backdoored in eviction number 2, and that didn't happen. So expect the unexpected.
Do you have any regrets about doing the show? Are you happy you went on?
I learned so much about myself, and I think that, you know, I started off with a strong social game, but I ran out of alliances. And if I were given the chance, and unusual seasons, the age range is more my age, and so it was hard for me to relate to the other celebrities. Like, they are true legends, and I respect them and have so much love for all of them. And getting to hear their Hollywood experiences firsthand is something that I never thought that I would get to experience. And so being the first Asian American on Celebrity Big Brother means so much to me. And I hope that, you know, even more minorities will be represented continuing on in the Big Brother house.
No, it was really fun to watch you, Mirai. I'm glad you were there. You did mention, before we go, the age difference. Can you confirm or deny, because it's been on Twitter a little bit, was that shade in your speech, or were you just stating fact?
Sharon, don't you? I feel like I came across on on Big Brother as super bubbly and nice. And I said I wanted to play an honest and loyal game. And I may have shared way too much information in my first alliance, but I would have wanted my alliance to do the same for me. And so, I don't know that I would have changed the way I played, but given another opportunity and given different players and cards, you just never know what will happen. And overall, you learn so much about yourself in Big Brother. If I could have prepared differently, I think I would have taken more acting classes because all of my housemates were professional, basically poker players with how beautiful they were and how strong they were. And I learned so much in my brief amount of time, and it was an experience.